Hey there, Together Learners. Eric back again. And in this video, we're going to talk about website navigation, which is hugely important to the design of your websites because it allows you to try to cater the experience of moving through your website, being able to find the information your users are looking for. And in this video, we're going to talk about some of the elements around being able to design navigating through your website, through the web pages, being able to find information, and why this is hugely important. So, website navigation coming up in this video. All right, so let's start at the very beginning, shall we? Website navigation. If you've ever visited any website, some of your favorites, for example, maybe Amazon to buy a product, you'll notice that there are menus everywhere. There are links, there are buttons, there are all these little things that make you move through the website from page to page to page, trying to find the information, maybe the product, maybe the video you're looking for, whatever it is you're looking for. You usually have to navigate a little bit inside of that website through the different pages. And that journey, how you move from different pages in the website, how they're connected all together, is probably one of the biggest impacts to the experience of people visiting your website. So, because if it isn't clear where to go or how to look or where to click, then the user may get frustrated, may not be able to find what they're looking for, may find the incorrect information, and try and go Google it somewhere else. Because if you can't find it in a few clicks, we're going to learn also in this video that Google will help you, right? A Google search will take the place of having to click a few extra times. So you can see here, this is kind of we're going to talk about this also, prototyping the navigation of your website. So you can think about like all the places where your links and pages are connected in different ways. And different links might lead to the same page, or one page might be your home page and link out to other pages. So you can think of it as like a big map with all these lines connecting the pages through different ways that they're connected. It could be menus and other things we'll talk about in this video as well. So the navigation is basically how all the pages in your website are categorized and linked to one another, and how those links are represented in your web pages. This is connected to, but not necessarily the same thing as page layout, right? We'll talk about that in another section, another video, but how information is laid out on the page, how things are arranged as far as like what's on top, what are on the sides, if you make the screen bigger or smaller. Navigation changes depending on the layout and the size of the screen, but it's not necessarily the same thing. We'll talk about that also in this video as well. All right, so what is navigation? Navigation is basically a collection that comprises the user interface on your website. So you want users to be able to find content, and this arrangement, you get to have to make all these decisions, right? How are you going to group information on your website on different pages? Are you going to make that same information available on several different pages? And if someone's looking at a page, do you want to show them related information and link other pages to that? All those are decisions you're going to have to make for your users to help them find what they need or find what you want them. Many times marketers are trying to kind of push you, nudge you in certain directions to either buy a product or see more of a product or such, connected to marketing type issues as well. But all of those things, and this includes like adding buttons to say, click now to buy, and that takes you to another page to fill out your information, or click now to find more information. Those are buttons. Those are considered navigation. Menus that you drop down or sidebar, or we'll talk about that in this video as well, are also considered navigation. Footers and all this other stuff. There are so many ways you can put links to other pages in your website, and all of that is included in your website navigation design. This is super, super important because research shows that website navigation is probably the most impactful thing to the user experience. Because if you do this badly, right, you could have the prettiest colors and the most inviting videos for your website, but if your users can't find the information they need in a short amount of time, or it is where to navigate or what to click on to find what they need to do is not intuitive and easy, that experience goes down dramatically. So thinking about the design of the navigation is hugely important, right? So other than just buttons, right, there are mainly ways we do things on websites is menus. You often see this in software too, and in for example, Word, if you're doing word processing, right? There's that bar menu at the top called the ribbon, right? It has all the options for your software. You see it in your apps for your smartphone as well. There's different menus and things. So you often see the same types of things in websites as well. So horizontal navigation, right? Right at the top, there is a bar with different kind of themes or top level pages that you want to look at. You might hover over those and that will have what's called a drop down menu, where the menu drops down and you have other sub choices under that kind of heading or that theme on the horizontal menu, right? So those are the two up there. Hamburger menu is very popular for smartphones, right? It's kind of like a common design theme where you put 3 bars or 3 dots, and that indicates that you can click on that or touch that, and a menu will pop up in different ways. So a hamburger menu is called that as well. A sidebar is usually something on just what it says on either side, maybe even both sides of your screen or on your website, that sometimes is constantly there so you can navigate easily, so it's always on the side. The footer is often used in websites where the same menu is placed at the bottom of the page in all of your websites. If you're making student portfolios with Together Learning, you'll often run into this issue. There's a common problem with our students trying to accidentally putting stuff in their footer, and stuff gets put on every page. And a site map. From the very first websites, we often refer to something called a site map, which is basically an outline, a listing of all the pages on your website in some easy to understand format. So you can have like a full list of the available websites that are available to you. Some sites are so big that's impossible. For example, Amazon, if they do have a site map, it's only for specific categories. They can never have a complete map of every product or every page available on their website. So for smaller websites, this is one of the kind of more things you click. You have an extra link that has a simple way to list all of the websites to navigate through as well. So menus are a big part of navigation, and what kind of menu you put on and how you use it goes a long way in designing the navigation and experience for your users. Right? So one big hint, one big thing that I could recommend when you do your navigation, no matter what menu you do, either it's a sidebar menu or a top navigation menu or drop-down menus or hamburger menu, whatever that is to use or to get away from format-based labels and go towards topic-based labels, right? The labels, whatever is on that button to click to go to that other page, or on that menu item in the sidebar and the footer, whatever that link says, right? Have that be the topic of whatever you're trying to link to, not the format. So here's some examples. For example, articles or videos or white papers. If you have those things listed in your menu, it's sometimes very ambiguous for your users to go to. For example, if you have a menu item that says articles, well, articles about what, right? Is the articles going to have the information I need? I'm not quite sure. So instead of articles or videos, you'll put the actual topic of those articles or those videos, right? They could be safety or tips or whatever that might be. So try to show what you're going to show them as far as the topic that's being represented, not how it's being represented, because all websites have articles or videos or webinars or whatever that category might be, but what are they about? So try to show the user what they are about, right? As they click on that, to know that. And that really goes a long way in aiding the user in finding those things that they need more intuitively. This is what that might look like in real form, right? So on the top we have the format-based labels, which are a no-go, right? We have resources in the top level, and then we have articles, case studies, webinars, videos. But what if you're looking for information about how to do website navigation? You don't know whether to go to articles or to webinars or to videos. There might be a video about what you're looking for. There might be an article about what you're looking for. That doesn't really help you. But if you have a page in the navigation that says learn about website navigation, there you go. You found the information you're looking for so much quicker and easier. Does that make sense what I'm checking? Go away. Do not do format-based labels. Do topic-based labels. And that will help big time. One of the biggest hints that I can give to you about website navigation and menus, labeling your buttons and your menu items. Okay, next. One of the big things about making websites is going through the iterative process, right? Putting a design together, testing it out, making some changes, doing it again and again, then maybe doing a beta test where you take your website and put it in front of other people and let them test it and then make changes again. And you keep constantly improving it, right? So one of the first things that's important about making navigation for your website is doing a little bit of prototyping. Start to think about all the different types of information you're going to display on your website. How are you going to group them together that makes sense for a user to find the information they need the easiest? And a couple of ways you can prototype is by making a simple outline in a Word or Google Docs or whatever, and just grouping your information together in a simple outline form. One of the popular things that I like to do is just use a diagram. PowerPoint is super easy. These smart diagrams that PowerPoint makes, and you can kind of connect and make a hierarchy of your menu system very easily. And actually, I have some tutorials about how to use PowerPoint for this purpose on togetherlearning.com as well. A flowchart is very good to use to help you understand where users travel, the stories they take, right? And that's a different way of thinking about this. A flowchart, there are different landing pages perhaps on your website. You have a home page perhaps where that starts and you can navigate from there. But what if your user was searching for a specific thing and then Google linked it to some subpage of your website? How do they get back to the top or back around? So there's a flow, there's a direction you need to take and understand where users are coming into your website and how they're getting to the thing that they need to find. And that's where the stories comes in as well. You when you're prototyping how best to find information, you come up with some scenarios, some possible uses for your website, or you watch somebody try to find something on your website and you understand their story, right? They want to find about some soccer player that they're really into, right? They'll Google the soccer player and they'll come in on the soccer player page on your website, but there's videos related to that. So you want to be able to display those on the bottom or have links to, we have things about this player here, linked to other places on our website, or maybe there's a couple of players that are similar to that one and you link those, and et cetera, et cetera. Find the story, what they're looking for, how they might get there. That kind of helps you understand a little bit about the overall user experience. So all these things put together, if you really wanted to dig in and understand more about your navigation on your website, you can try multiple different ways of prototyping how that might work. But in practice, this is what you want to strive for when you do navigation, right? You want to allow somebody, no matter what page they come into your website at, to find what they're looking for in under 3 clicks. And a lot of that at times needs not having to scroll so much either. A lot of newer designs and trends and websites have just one website, one web page that loads, and when you click on something, it just moves you up and down scrolling for you. There's a lot of different ways to do this, depending on how much information you have available on your website. So you need to, have more clicks because you need to have separate pages because, for example, Amazon couldn't have everything on one page, right? Because they just have too much information. And sometimes you want to, categorize and separate information that'll probably make sense in a lot of instances as well. But you want to try your best to make it so people can click on less than 3 places. Sometimes you want it even less, 1 click or 2 clicks, and make those clicks obvious to the user where they're going, and they'll get to the information, they'll get to the place they need to be on your website easily in under 3 clicks. And to do that, you'll need to do some prototyping and testing, of course. Also, you want to connect this to the user experience. So depending on the layout of your website, you might want to put your clicks in your footer or in your top menu, in your sidebar, and different ways that you're going to arrange the colors and the layout and the other kind of ways that you can introduce, for example, font. All the other web design decisions you have to make are also highly connected to navigation. So if you have something that a lot of users want to click on, or you want a lot of users to click on, you're going to want to highlight that with a more bright, a robust color or a contrast to the other colors on the page, or add a picture next to it, or put that link several places in different menus, so it kind of all gets users moving in the same direction or moving towards the same page that you'd like them to go, or you think they might need to go on your website. So think about those stories again about your users and their experience. All right, this has been a video on website navigation. Hope it wasn't informative to you. We look forward to seeing your website navigation prototypes in our assignment if you're taking our course with us at togetherlearning.com. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.